No, Memphis, I can't help knocking Memphis. It's so easy for me. It's pretty much a rental city, and you really got to know your exit plan, because if you buy stuff in Memphis, you're only going to be selling it to another investor, more than likely. And when you sell to investors, it's like you guys and me, we don't want to pay retail, okay? So you have to have an exit plan. The thing about when you buy single-family homes that are in homeowner neighborhoods, people buy for emotional reasons. And that's the critical thing for you to remember. It's a big difference when you're in a rental neighborhood because your exit plan is going to be completely different. And today, I'm going to let John get up here in a minute. I just couldn't wait because he's drinking his coconut water.
No, I really have nothing else to say.
Okay, well then we'll just grip it and rip it because I do everything fast. John does everything at a very logical pace. I'm all over the place because of all the stuff that we do. But you really got to look at who you're going to sell to down the road. It's critical. All the things, it's a common sense business. You look for curb appeal, you look for nice neighborhoods. If you see junk cars, you're probably in a junk neighborhood. It's real clear. You're going to see a bunch of stuff today. This week we bought over 30 houses, bought 15 in one package, and I'm going to take you through that subdivision. We may go into one of the houses because that's going to blow you guys away. I also bought 56 building lots in there and we're going to be building. So, and then tomorrow I got an exclusive package that I get first look at. And I looked at some of the pictures today, and I got somebody running them down this morning, taking videos for me to see if that's something I want. We're a little bit different than everybody else. There's a lot of guys that do what we do here, but the biggest problem we have here is the competition. The equity funds have come into this town. They haven't gone to Memphis, by the way, okay? And they can't buy anything in Florida. They're having the hardest time buying in Florida because the prices are so high, the cash flow is so low, because you got a major issue with insurance and you got a problem with property taxes. And anytime you record something in Florida, like a deed and stuff like that, it's really, really expensive, unlike here. We selected this area about 5 years ago, gut instincts, and I'm telling you, it was one of my better gut instincts. And I wrote too much stuff on the internet. Now there's a ton of people here. I don't think it's all me. Warren Buffett had something to do with it when he said he would buy 100,000 houses if he knew how to manage them. So we got these equity funds that are in town. They'll buy every single thing I got. I've just sold them 75 houses. I could sell them every single house we got. They have billions of dollars. They fly into the auctions with $20 million. So we try to be very strategic if we buy stuff at auction. And miraculously, we've picked up 7 houses at the auction this week. You're going to see some of them. You're going to see a couple of completed projects today, as well as stuff that might be in progress, as well as stuff that we haven't started yet. The first house we're going to has a tenant in it, and she's been in there for a while, and I hope she's expecting us. I think she is. I'm told she is. If not, we'll just break the door down. What do we care? You know, I'm just kidding about that.
Just a quick one, though. I think it's very important. Michael mentioned it when we were having breakfast this morning. You know, that Dolph DeRoos says it's 100 houses, make an offer on 10, you know, get accepted for 3 and buy 1. You know, and I'm not saying you stick to that. And Michael said, shit, that's very difficult. I got 1 day in Atlanta. The point isn't, you know, I've been out here now, this will be my 4th time with RJ. Today we're doing the slow pace trip. And I'm really not joking. The first 3 times that I came out here, RJ was actually looking at properties pre the auction. So, and just to give you numbers, they're analysing about 5,000 properties a month. Now I know things are changing because you're not buying all the stuff on auctions, but I'm sure it's pretty much the same. They were looking at like 5,000 properties a month. They had a team of 6 people driving around. That's all they do is look at houses, check them out, etc., etc. They then do all the taxes and all the due diligence. You've got a team in Tampa, isn't it? Where's the team like looking at all the kind of the rates and taxes that are owed, outstandings? Because a whole lot of stuff on auctions, if you buy it without doing the right research, you can find out pretty surprises on the other side. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely. Federal tax liens and property taxes. And we've run into all that stuff. And I'll buy stuff with a federal tax lien if I know I'm keeping it because I know it's going to fall off. And the government very seldom redeems those properties. They can, but then they got to pay interest on it as well.
But my point is they're designing a battle plan for him. And then about 8 days prior to the auctions, and again, I know the market's changing, but it's still the point that I'm trying to make. He then gets a list of about 300 properties. Now, I was here twice. The very first time I met RJ, myself and Brendan and Neil jumped in a car with him. And to be honest, it wasn't a property tour where he was trying to impress us. He was trying to look at 40, 50 houses to buy on the auctions. And we just had to ship in and basically hurry up and see what we saw. So to come back to your point, Michael, they then take looking at 300 odd houses and whittled it down to about, 50 or 60 that you were prepared to buy. And like we had all this. So I came back in August and John and I actually went to the auctions together. which is hell of a kind of, overwhelming. Because in South Africa, you sit down, there's one auctioneer and he's beating on his hammer, and you've got a whole pack generally that's like this, and you know exactly what's happening, and you know what the rate, you know everything basically. When we went with John, there's 5 or 6 auctions going on at the same time. No one, it's under the steps of the courthouse steps, so if you want to see the videos that I've made on it, it's unbelievable. And we had like these sheets where literally like RJ and his team had pretty much said, right, this is the highest we could go to, whatever. And I mean, John was pretty much coordinating. I was just trying to help him find lawyers and whatever. But you had teams in about 8 states that day.
8 states?
8 different counties or whatever, basically.
Yeah.
So like John and I were at the one courthouse steps, but then there were teams at the other 8 courthouse steps. And that day they bought 16 properties. So just to come back to your numbers, 5,360 to buy 16 plus minus.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
completely different now. We don't do it like that anymore.
No, I understand that, but it's just the logic that, Michael doesn't have to look at 100 houses, you're looking at the top 3.
Oh, well, it's not just that. There's not 5,000 houses to look at.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist anymore. The inventory is being absorbed very, very quickly, which means a couple things to you guys, and you need to know it. The prices are up. The rents are down. Think about it logically. There's all these funds coming in. They're putting these properties on the market for rent, and the numbers are coming down. The market is becoming more normalized, if you will. That being said, there's 1 million people moving here in the next 7 years. Okay, we know where there's 2,000 jobs being created right in Covington with a big pharmaceutical company that's coming in. The least paying job is $65,000, so we're trying to zero in and buy everything that we possibly can in there. Plus, where there's other big facilities going in that are going to create a lot of jobs. That's the kind of stuff that we look for. And this last auction, what happens is we had about 7 guys out there because we can't even compete with these funds in some markets. They'll pay $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more than we will. They're silly, but they have so much money and it's not theirs, okay? They get all this money from these other people, and when it's not your money, it's a little bit different, okay? It's like the stock market. You're paying some guy to buy stocks for you that probably doesn't even own a stock. And that's a little frightening when you bet on other people. So the most important thing that I can stress to you guys today is this is an extremely common sense business. It's common sense. And you'll see the locations of some of the houses that we buy, and you'll say, oh my gosh, that makes sense to me. I mean, I'm going to show you a 3,600 square foot house today that's virtually brand new. I got to go in there and spend about $8,000 or $9,000, and you guys can buy it for like pennies for what it costs to build. It's really good stuff. Good stuff. But the rates are coming down, and you need to know that. You need to know the yields.
Just quickly, would you mind just giving us a little bit of a background on yourself and your experience and stuff?
Yeah, I've been doing this over 30 years. At one point I owned 350 houses, no partners, nothing, but I bought everything in the wrong part of the country. And I bought that lower stuff that the only thing you could sell it to is another investor. And after many, many years, I realized that I built my foundation, I put my ladder against the wrong building. And when I went to seminars many years ago, and I've given seminars, I've been to seminars, the one guy said, you're not a tree, you can move, meaning you could go to a different marketplace. Smartest thing I ever did was get out of New York. The most democratic, liberal state. Everything is consumer protected, and landlords were bad people for the most part. They're stupid, and that's why jobs leave New York all the time. And it's really a welfare state. So I went to Florida, and in Florida we bought, we had commercials on TV. You could go to one of our websites and see the commercials that we used to run. Hey, call Fast Home Solutions. We'll buy your house for any reason. Repairs, divorce, estate, blah, blah, blah. Call today, we'll give you a firm offer in 24 hours. When that market was shooting up, I had guys that looked like John, a bunch of them that would go out, look at the house.
Not Asian though. If you weren't Asian, you have to qualify that.
B, this is, how do I say this? We say inappropriate things at times in this group. Can you handle it?
Yeah, I can handle
Because you're with Scott.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I
John,
have 2 sons, so I can
okay.
handle
Well,
it.
John claims he's black from the waist down. That's all I know. He's been telling me since I met him, but I really don't want to find out. Scott, you may find out later. It is your birthday after all. And what happens in Atlanta stays in stays in Atlanta. We don't have to know, Scott. It's okay. John did bring a glove, so we're good. So back to Florida. We would buy houses in the morning, right? And there'd be so many guys doing exactly what we did. We would have to get the people to sign something that we could notarize and record it in case they try to sell it to somebody else an hour later. And the way the market was rising, if you paid too much at 10 a.m. in the morning, just wait 2 days, the market was going up so fast and you'd be able to sell to make a profit. That's how fast it rose. That's why there was a bubble. Here, and now, let me go back to Florida, You know, when we go back and take a look at what we did back there, it's a terrible place for cash flow. People that I know that are kind of like me laughed at me when I came to Atlanta, and I said, I don't want to own anything in Florida. I still got about 10 houses there. We just dumped one yesterday, and the rest I can't wait till they're gone, because they don't make sense. They don't make sense. It's much more transient than this area. Think about this. Walt Disney World, or whatever it's called, Disneyland, Disney World, whatever it is down in Orlando. Think about it. If the economy goes bad, just logic, economy goes bad, people don't spend disposable income. They stop taking vacations and that area dies. What happens? Jobs get lost, people can't pay the rent, very transient. Florida is where all the misfits of America end up. It's down at the funnel, there's like a suction down there, it's a vortex, bringing down every sexual predator, every kind of misfit in America, they somehow end up in Florida. Completely different.
Roger hasn't told you he lives in Florida.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, no other state will take me. And about 5 years ago, maybe it's 4 years ago, 2009, you know, there's some math for you. We bought houses in 10 different, I think it was 10 different states, 12 different states. We would buy packages of houses, and we found out just how stupid that was. No centralized management, just very, very difficult to manage. We finally dumped everything we bought up in Detroit. Don't ever go up there. The best thing about Detroit is leaving. Total welfare, automobile industry is never going to come back, and these are some of the most educated black tenants you could ever imagine. You just can't get them out of the houses. They know every game to play. And the property taxes on a $17,000 house that I bought were over $4,200, just to give you an idea. Here we got some of the lowest property taxes, and I will blow your mind when I take you into this subdivision and say the property taxes range from $1,500 to $1,700 a year. Insurance-wise, very inexpensive because Florida is in the hurricane zone. Not too long ago, they had 4 hurricanes come through in the same season. We bought a lot of houses that were damaged at that time. But here, we're not in the hurricane zone. The worst thing that happens to Atlanta is occasionally they get some tornadoes. But a tornado just is a little swatch. A hurricane blows away areas completely, and it's devastating. That's why the insurance is so high there. Here, we get a group rate based on all the properties that we have in management. We got the lowest insurance that you're gonna find in the country probably. And we got the lowest rates that you can imagine. We shop that stuff every year. So,
Can I just bump in there? Is Anthony coming to dinner tonight?
yeah, Anthony will be there to dinner, and he'll talk a little bit about property management.
Okay, so basically the important thing between John and RJ is they've got everything under one roof. So they're finding the property, they're renovating the property, they're managing the property, they're maintaining the property. But like Hewlett and them, you know, it's all under one roof. So Anthony is in charge of the management side. He'll be coming to dinner tonight. So we'll be able to go through that, because I presume tonight then we can go through how the 3-year lease works and the option and that stuff.
I can talk about that in the van today,
Okay,
too.
cool.
'Cause we're going to cover a lot of ground. The goal is to get out of this room in 4 or 5 minutes so that we get out there and see as much stuff as we possibly can, because as long as we have daylight, I'm going to show you guys stuff until we can't see anymore.
Last question. For dinner tonight, are we going to come back to the hotel first, or should
No.
we take jackets
Take your
with us,
stuff.
basically?
And take your stuff, and you know what? It's supposed to get to 62 today and sunny. If it gets to 62 today and sunny, it feels like 72. So I got this heavy shirt on. I also got a vest. It's cold in the morning. It was like in the 30s this morning. But I got a short sleeve shirt because once I heat up and it gets really warm out there. It's really a nice climate here, and very pretty area we'll be driving through. I think I wanted to make one more point. Yes, on the internet, if you guys click in and you look up the MLS, it's a bunch of bullshit. You gotta understand something. Fannie Mae, HUD, they sell their houses to first-time homeowners. You could look and say, oh my God, that house is 50 grand, nice try. Can't get it. Can't get it. Most of those houses you can't get. And they go to highest and best. This package of houses that I bought, I paid over 10 grand over list, and I had the inside track. I knew the bids that came in. All right, that's our angle. You know, we have relationships, we can find this stuff out. And if I didn't know the inside bids, I never would have got those
In
houses.
South Africa, we call it BE.
BE. BE, go ahead.
BE, no, as in just backhander.
It's just relationships that we created. You know, I know how to word things in a certain way that people will give me information. You remember the movie The Godfather, right? See, we believe that stuff. You know, we know how to show our gratitude. We know how to show our gratitude. So if you look at comps, you look on Trulia, you look on Zillow, you're going to screw yourself up. Just look at common sense. You look at a house and say, I can buy it for what? You got to be kidding me. Okay, that's where you got to be thinking. All that stuff on the internet will do nothing more than screw up your thinking, and you won't be able to make a decision. Or you'll do what other guys that have been in rooms like this. They'll come, you know, they think they can do it on their own, and they'll make 30, 40, 50 offers and not get anything at all. The reason I'm getting stuff is because of all the relationships that I've cultivated. Just like tomorrow, I got 26 houses, I got first look, these guys, we have a deal, that I get everything they get, this stuff doesn't even hit the MLS. So it's our relationship with asset managers, it's our knowledge of the market, and it's our courage of our convictions to know how to pull the trigger, and I pull the trigger extremely fast. 30 houses in a week is what I just bought, that's pretty good. Last year we did over 200 houses, and I don't say that to brag, I just want you guys to know that we know what we're doing, and you'll see that today.
Well, I'll do a quick one. Sorry, last question from me. Obviously, there's concerns in any market that we've missed the boat or whatever. What's your thoughts on that in terms of prices have gone up, but I mean, where are we in terms of the opportunity as well?
Yeah. I'm buying every single house that I can keep right now, and I bring certain investors in there. They come in at my price, and they get the rent for a couple of years, and then we split it, and then we split the upside. Everything that I can keep, I've already kept about 5 this year, and I'm hoping to get involved in about 100 houses this year. If I fall short and get involved in 50, I'm okay with that. But you're buying in a rising market. Okay, 2 years ago, I put some guys in houses, 26, 35,000. We're selling them right now for about double. And I was involved in those deals because it rose that much. People that didn't take advantage of the opportunity before, it's crazy. But you know what? The best deal comes around every 24 hours. I can buy houses in any state in the country. I guarantee I can go into any city and I can make a deal within 48 hours. Guarantee it. But that's just my confidence in myself, and it's the knowledge that I have and how to evaluate stuff very quickly. I'll say it last time, probably not though. Common sense business.
Just one last thing that I think is critical because it makes life easy. It costs between $90 and $100 per square feet to build a house.
How much? Between
$90 and $100 per square foot.
Depends on the builder, yes.
But plus minus, I'm just rough numbers. So if you see a house for 2,000 square feet, you can divide it by 10 because that's 200 square meters, just so that if you want to work it out. 2,000 times $100 is $200,000. Does that make sense? So if you're seeing it for 120, 130, you're still buying it well below replacement value. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And just keep remembering those numbers because that's, for me, the question to are we in a rising, have we missed the boat? Until we're spending more than $200,000, we're still below what it costs to rebuild that house.
Yeah, and let me give you an example. Ian's wife, Rolene, pulled the trigger on a house recently. I could sell that house today for at least 15 grand more than what they paid. I'm dead serious. I could sell it today for that. Brendan bought a house. He closed January 17th. Okay, I could sell his house today for 20 grand more. Okay, and I'm not kidding. 1 second, guys. Go fast. Yeah, 30 seconds, 29, 28, keep going. No. We only use those blinds if they're already existing in houses. Otherwise, we use the cheap stuff now. They have to be very good appliances. If the appliances are questionable in any way, shape, or form, they're out. Okay, but if the house has, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I'm sure you're working on that stuff. Send me the email and call me so I can get back to the fund on those properties for their inspections. All right, pal, thanks. Okay, what was the last thing I said? It's a test. I can't pick up from where I stopped.
Saying how much up it was, I think it's 20 grand.
Yeah. Brendan's house, 195 long. We might even be able, if we get over to Covington fast enough, I want to go to Ian's house if possible. We told them that we would rent the house, I think, for $1,000 to $1,200. What did it get rented for?
2,000.
No, I think it was rented for more than that, but I'm not sure. I thought it was more, and I'll make a phone call and let you know during the day. And you know what? We're going to give you conservative numbers on the rent. Okay. Any numbers that I got down there are fairly conservative. We hope to get more than that. But here's what happens. If we had let's just pretend we got 10 applicants that want a house. By the way, how many calls did we get for houses?
It's like 5,600.
Yeah, in the last month?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're really
for rentals.
5,600, eh?
For tenants at one house.
Yeah, because we do Google AdWords, we pay a lot of money. You'll see our signs all over streets today when we get near something, probably. We have realtors list them, we pay a big fee to get people into those houses, and we're really picky. So if somebody asks me how long does it take to get a tenant, well, 3, 4, 5 minutes, but that might not be the tenant we want. And so if we get a tenant that's got 5 kids and 3 dogs, and they wanna pay $1,300 a month, or we got a tenant that's just 2 kids or 2 adults and a child at $11.50, which one would you want me to rent to? Yeah, $11.50. What happens? Well, you got safety, okay? You got safety. It's all about safety. Everything we do is about safety. Safety's first, yield is second. We know there's gonna be an upside, but we look at everything from a safety standpoint first. We're gonna go with the other people. Why? The most expensive expense in real estate will never change. It's called turnover. You didn't get paid the rent, you gotta evict them. Whenever you go through that house again, you have to do something, okay? There's always something to do. Nobody ever leaves a house perfect, just doesn't exist. We're dealing with people, okay? And as the expression goes, you know, shit happens. Shit happens to people. They lose their job, they get divorced. You know, we had this lady in from Nicaragua. I showed her a great house, the nicest people we had in the world. Well, 2 weeks later, the guy decides to start beating up his wife. You know, she buys the house, it's perfectly performing, beautiful people, very nice. He decides to start beating up his wife. She gets an order of protection. They both move out of the house. Nicest people in the world. Never saw it coming. Now, we re-rented it, but people will fool you, okay? People will fool you. It's just the nature of the beast. So I'll take some fast questions from you now, but I think any questions you really got can be done in the van.
Yeah.
And on that note, I say, let's get the heck out of here. But one last thing. You guys got this little blurb here, okay? This is personal real estate investor. They did this was an insert in one of their magazines they did on us. So you'll get an idea of some of the garbage that we say and what they said about us. And that's it. There's a picture of Anthony, the property manager in there. We got some staff in there. And, you know, they're just pictures, but there's some good information in there.
Just for the record, he's also been in the South African one. There's an action shot of me taking him, kicking a door down. But anyway.
Yeah, and
So this is actually where you would have seen him the first time.
You would have loved this before the auction. There was this house, and I'm looking at it, walked around it, couldn't get in it, and I'm pulling away, and then I realized, oh my God, it's got an upset price. I really got to know, because the upset price means I know what the opening bid's going to be, right? So I go back to the house, and I can't get in the damn thing. And who was I with? Mike Wolf, and a guy from Calgary who has created a fund for us. And we were able to pull the garage door open this much, and I think my vest is marked up because I slid like a salamander underneath the garage door to get into the house, and I'm glad I did. I thought it had 4 bedrooms, it had 3, and we didn't bid on it, and just didn't want it. And I figured the funds were going to bid it up to about $80,000, and there was no way I was going to go that high in that house for a 3-bedroom.
I've been curious to see what they actually did bid it up for. Do we know?
No, the house was in Conyers. We didn't even go to that auction. I went in 2 different directions where I thought I'd have less competition, and we did really good. You know, it's hard at the auctions, and the amount of research you gotta do is ridiculous. However, you know, we do everything we possibly can to enhance the chances for our success. So I don't care if it costs me $5,000 to send 10 people around knocking on doors and looking at houses and sending me videos while I review them. If I can get 1 house, 2 houses, 3 houses, those are 1, 2, 3 houses I couldn't get otherwise. So we do every freaking thing that you can imagine to find houses. Over 30 years in the business, I think it's about 33 to be honest. I've been doing this stuff, doing this marketing stuff forever. So the key for us is to find the properties right now. That's why Scott's got us coming to South Africa. I can't go. My time is much more valuable here to run down properties. John's gonna go, and he's a much better speaker than I am anyhow. No, he is, much more, he's just like this. Okay, most people rev around here. Okay, I'm up here all the time. You're gonna find that out today. And if I get pushed over just a little bit, watch out, you don't wanna be there. Because I wake up ready to roll. I'm very excited about what we do. I love what we do. For some people, they say, man, you work too much. In fact, I hear that at least once a week. I said, work, I'm not even employable. I don't have a job. This is a sport. This is a game for me. It's a game, and it's a fun game. It doesn't seem like work, and that's why I don't mind doing it. Basically, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day plus, except on the weekends, we don't usually work quite the full day, just making sure that everything is done. But these are the most exciting times ever that I've been involved in this business. And okay, remember, over 30 years, I have never been in a rising market like this except in Florida. Okay, and I saw what happened there, and there's just a lot of money to be made. But again, I'm gonna make this last point and then we'll go. The key to whatever you guys are doing, okay, you're investing in a foreign country, it's got to be safety first. If if you get caught up with yields, like they'll play this bullshit in Memphis, okay? And that shit, it's on paper. What's paper? Paper's paper, it means nothing. So same with ours, okay? Same with ours, but you gotta look at the quality of the product and the neighborhood around it to make a common sense decision. What you don't wanna do is lose your money, okay? And you don't want the house to go in the other direction. So the opportunity is here. You know, many people we know want to get their money out of South Africa, they want to get their money out of China. China pays probably, well, I'll tell you exactly, they pay about $20,000 more a house than you guys pay, because that's our promoters over there, they want a lot of money, we don't care. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But they pay a lot more money for this stuff, because they want their money out, they want it safe, and they're very happy with a 5% yield. The funds are buying at a 7.5% yield, which, you know, in a normal real estate market, in case you guys don't know this, if you own a house and it's free and clear, your typical yield is 5 to 7% if it's free and clear. Okay? Now you say, well, wait, not in Memphis. Okay, that's not a normal real estate market. Because when you start buying that low-end garbage, okay, you got to factor in turnover. And people think they're making a lot of money. I got news, they ain't making garbage. By the time they go in and rehab it again, and then rehab it again in a year, they're gonna be, what the hell did I do? Okay, it's a mistake, and I know, I owned that stuff before. And I have changed my model. You know, you constantly gotta reinvent yourself. You gotta change with the times. It's true. The only thing that's constant in life is change. And this market has changed so rapidly. But back to Scott's answer, because I do got ADD. Yes, it's still a great time to buy, and it's a great place to put your money and keep it safe. I think it's better than every state in the country. I really do. Or I wouldn't be here, I'd go there. Phoenix, over the top, forget it. You can't even buy stuff there. The funds are, they're like dogs, or like wolves, they're eating each other, they're cannibalizing that whole market. It's crazy. Vegas, the same thing. Vegas is very transient too. It's gambling, right? And people go there with disposable income. Well, guess what happens when the economy goes in the shitter? People don't go, people lose their jobs, you get the same deal that you would have anywhere else in the country. Not to mention the fact California's flat broke, in case you guys don't know, $20 billion deficit for the next 5 years until they legalize pot. And that's what they need to do in that state, because everybody's smoking the damn shit, and tax the living hell out of it, okay? It's pot, who gives a crap, you know? But they're broke, okay? So what happens? They cut services, their income taxes is the highest in the country, and it's just not, the cash flow is not that great. It's not that great of a market. California isn't what it was when I was growing up in the 60s, you know, the surfing, the this, the that. There's so damn many people here, the thing is just gonna fall into the ocean sooner or later. Then Vegas will be on the coastline, so maybe it is a good bet, I don't know. But,
Last question, because I think it's valuable. Atlanta's a massive city. We tend to focus on the areas where the single family homes, the, you know, where they can live in the suburbs, the, you know, the family suburbs. Do you mind just explaining that a little bit? Because
sure.
We as South Africans always want to be, you know, 3 k's from the CBD because we all have to commute there. And the big thing here is that most people don't try and commute through to downtown. And I think you've got a map, so I think this is worthwhile giving people an idea.
Take your map out, guys, because I'm going to show you where we're going today. Yeah, that's all I have. And okay, just look at me up here if you could once you got your map. It's in here, guys. Did you get one?
I think so.
It starts like, oh no, you know what? Oh, you do got a map. Okay, good. Good. Real quick, you see this little loop right here? Okay, that's 285 going around the city. And Atlanta's right in there. You'll see a little airplane in there. We don't buy in there. Okay, the reason we don't buy in there is because there's a lot of ghetto. Okay, and if it's not ghetto, it's in a little bit of the north, and they're like 2 1s, 3 1s for stupid money that make no cash flow sense, and they're old houses have new problems. Or they're so expensive up a little bit further north, it makes no sense. We do the bedroom communities. We stay away from the ghetto, okay? In the bedroom communities, there's jobs everywhere here. Not everybody comes into the city. There's 5.5 million people here. Trucking is one of the biggest things. Transportation is the biggest things. Airline pilots, all that kind of stuff. Delta's headquarters are here. Coca-Cola, CNN. Lots of big companies. I think 75% of the Fortune 1000 companies have operations here. That is stable, okay? Go back to Memphis. Biggest employer, besides the schools, is Federal Express. 30,000 people. What happens if they slow down? Forget about it. Forget about it. Not to mention you're still going to be selling to investors, okay? And the quality of the people there, I don't want this to sound terrible, but again, inappropriate, so you've been warned. It's not nearly the same. The people here, this is the South, okay? The people in the South are different, Florida is not the South, remember. Predators, sexual predators, all kinds of bad people go to Florida. I'm dead serious too. Transients, very bad transients. Okay, here the blacks are completely different than the blacks up north. How do I know? I had 350 black tenants, actually 349, one was white. We had to throw him out, he was ruining my reputation. He came in one day, Mr. Polano, how's it going? Hey, I got some bad news, John. What's that? Gotta throw you out. Why? John, look around. You're freaking white. You're ruining my reputation. Get the hell out of here. He goes, are you serious? I said, no. Okay, give me your damn rent. True stories. But the blacks here are super, super polite, inappropriate. They remember they were slaves at one time. That's what I think. Okay? Here's a joke. Here's a joke. Well, it's a strange phenomenon. The blacks up north, there's a new phenomenon going on. They used to be born head first, now they come out hand first. I'm here, I want education, I want free food, I want a place to live. That's how they're born up north. So here's the joke and then we'll go. Black guy's hitchhiking out of Florida, right? Hey sir, can I please get a ride? I'm going up north. Would you mind taking me up north? Sure, no problem. So he's real polite all the way. He crosses that Mason-Dixon line. Okay, motherfucker, take me to New York. Okay, and that's how it is. Okay. You will see if we talk to any blacks today. Beth, I'm sorry, baby. That's how it's got to go. Beef, the beef. Okay, we're gonna say the beef. Listen, you'll all have a different name before this is over. Trust me. But that's how it is. The blacks up there, they're educated. They've got generations of welfare. You want to run from that crap as fast as you humanly possibly can. Government subsidized rents means you've got the government as your partner. That's like the mafia. They don't know when to get out, okay? And if you buy houses with Section 8, which they probably told you all about that crap up in Memphis, you get a mandatory inspection every year, which means then something's got to get done. Okay, they got to find something. If they don't find something, they don't justify their jobs, they'll cut back on the inspectors. Common sense. Then you got to get it re-inspected. 2 inspections a year. I had 143 houses on Section 8 at one time. I had 2 full-time guys just fixing the stuff. Then if the tenant gets pissed off, she'll say, oh, the basement leaks. You can't fix a basement. Very hard, very expensive, and that's how they get out of paying your rent. That's just one way. So we run from anything government subsidized. We're like you guys. We don't like our government any more than you like yours. Pretty much. Okay, I say we go.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you where we're going. Okay, so we're somewhere, we're in Hampton, which, no, we're in McDonough, so we're like down here. The first house we're going to, we're gonna drop south a little bit to Hampton, okay? Great area, we buy a lot of houses, there's a tenant there. And then we're heading all the way over here to Temple. We're probably gonna hit some stuff in Villarica. And up here it says Dallas, but we're gonna hit, there's another place called Hiram, it's just not showing up in this mark. Really good area, really interesting, okay? It's more white than black. We don't care if people are white or black, just, it makes no bit of difference. There's good and bad in every race, every profession. But the Chinese don't like black people, so they like to be north. But you know what? We found this out too. The black people, their freaking money's green, just like the whites. I had this one guy that said, listen, can't you rent to a white person in my house? We rented to a white person. We threw him out in 45 days. I swear to God, I hope you're happy with your white person. We did that for you. I am dead serious. But if you see us talking to any blacks today, you'll see that most of them are super, super friendly. Very respectful. Yes, there's gangs here in certain areas. We avoid those areas, okay? I think we're good. We good?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's rock, let's roll, let's do it.
There goes my
Okay.
basic.